Good day, all. How are we? Welcome to the Warriors of Attraction via Mental Health Warriors. We all know who I am, so we don't need to go into that. But I know my voice has changed a little bit because I'm experiencing a common cold here in a heat wave. Yeah, not a nice combination. But it's alright. I've got some herbal tea next to me, so I'll be fine. So if I blow my nose a lot, you know why. Right, tonight we have got the Circle of Life again. We've also got my co-host, as usual, the wonderful Andrea Evans. She's back. We ain't getting rid of her. No way. I know she's going to share this. We've also got a guest all the way from Australia. Again, yeah, we love our Aussies, we do. I don't know if he wants to be pronounced Donovan or the Don. But I know Alan Stevens, he'll be watching at some point, so he'll probably answer at some point. Who knows? But thank you for getting up so early, Don. We're going to play our video, YouTube video, weekly, which obviously I don't hold the naming rights towards. It's called You Will Not Defeat Me, so please share this and subscribe if you haven't already. So let's get on with it. Oh, come on. Skip ad. Don't want the ad. There you go.
All of us have experienced some tragedy, and if we haven't, we will. And you can either let it destroy your life, or you can build upon it. You can permit it to let it hold you down, or you can decide, I'm not going to let that happen to me. I'm bigger than this.
Don't believe the crushing that you're in as if it is your final residence or place of abode. You may have to live there for a little while, but borrow it. Don't buy it, because you will rise again. Don't own that pain. Don't own that suffering. Don't own that agony. Don't own that grave. Don't own that depression. Don't own that suicide. Don't own that loneliness. Rent it if you must, but don't own it.
It's hard. It's hard changing your life. There are moments when you're going to doubt yourself. It takes a lot of guts to get up. It takes guts, ladies and gentlemen. No guts, no glory.
And it doesn't matter how you get knocked down in life, because that's going to happen. All that matters is that you got to get up.
Despite the circumstance, you can win. Despite the adversity, you can win. Despite the situation, you can win. Despite how much money you got in your bank, you can win. You can pull it off.
You can decide that you're going to change, that you're going to stand up to life. I got me here, I can get me out of this. And I'm getting out. You can decide, I'm going to work on myself and develop myself. I'm going to empower me.
It's going to be a dogfight. I would love to tell you that on the road to success, everything is going to work out. It's not. It's a dogfight. It's hard, but I've made up in my mind that I will get a reward for the pain that I go through. I will not stop in the middle of the process. I will not be defeated. I will not be destroyed. I will take everything that happens in my life and I will allow the pain to push me to greatness. You will not break me. You will not stop me. The only way I lose is if I quit.
And so I say to you, it's possible you can live your dream. If it's becoming a diamond, if it's having more, it's achieving more, it's possible you can live your dream. It's necessary that you have a plan of action, that you're resilient, that you stick to, that you have the vision and never give it up, that you become creative and relentless and keep on coming back again and again and again, and that it's you that you got to take personal responsibility to make it happen. And when life knocks you down, jump back up and say, it's not over until I win.
You have to know that this thing is going to work. Come hell or high water, whatever it is that I set out to do, it may not happen in 6 months, it may not happen in a year, but at some point, my dream is going to become a reality.
I'm not going to settle for this. This is not going to be it for my life. I deserve more than this.
You have to remind yourself of how badass you really are. You take 1 second when your mind and your body are saying, we're done. We need to quit. You gotta remind yourself, hang on a second. I will become a hell of a lot more than this. And I have the strength to persevere, to move on, to not settle for what's in front of me.
The night is darkest just before the dawn. I promise you, the dawn is coming.
Let's welcome Andrea.
Yes. Hey, everybody. How y'all
Hello.
doing? Oh, my
You're
goodness.
right.
That was an amazing video.
I know. And also, I saw your reaction just before.
Yes, it's amazing.
Yes.
I loved it.
It
I
is.
needed it. I think we all do. Every video you bring, we needed it.
Absolutely. Right. Well, I'm going to shoot myself off and the platform's yours.
All right. Thank you. Hey, everyone. Welcome to our Warriors of Attraction show. And I was asked to do a poem today. However, we're on the same wavelength today. So I wanted to share a post that I shared today. And this video rings true because it says, I will not own those negative thoughts or vibrations. And we are in August, the highest vibrational month of the year. So keep it positive if you can. And when it's negative, don't own it. Don't stay there. So I'll share my post. I said, my elders and ancestors continuously carries immense pure frequencies that continue purging me from negativity, resentments, and defeat. That was all a poem in itself. Often, we have energy blockages that stop us from attaining our goals and dreams. I am receiving a sure sign that I am purified. I stay motivated. I always find the motivation to continue innovating, to continue creating, and to continue flying to my dream life. Beloveds, please take note. When you compare yourself to others, you are belittling yourself, which creates energy blockages within you. Our 10,000 grandmothers, and I am taught to stop caring about others' opinions. It's about you. Focus on you and align yourself into higher vibration. This is the month, everyone. Bring things that are positive into your life. Thank you for allowing me to share. I'm not hearing you.
Oh,
There you go.
better. Right. Let's get on with the show. Let's bring on the Don.
Yes, come on, the Don.
Here he is.
There he is.
Hello, hello. Good morning, good evening, wherever you are today.
How are you?
We're all doing very, very good. Thanks, Adam, for having me on the show. It's awesome to be here with you guys. Hey, Andrea.
You're most welcome. So what did you think of that video then?
Quite a powerful video, I think. There was a lot of good messages in that. A lot of little sound bites that you could just take one of those every day of the week and roll with it. I think some beautiful content.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we've already got a comment. We've got our newest follower, Andrea. She's called Heather. And she's put, hey, it's Storm. That's her nickname. But hey, the storm's here.
Hey, Storm.
She is. Yeah, I connected with her on TikTok. So I'm like, yep, let's do it.
You're just pulling them in.
Yeah. Exactly. Well, I think, Andrea, we've even got Julia Eppingstall, one of your followers, Donovan.
Absolutely. Hey, Jules.
Yes.
Jumping on.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, thanks, everyone. Right, I think, Andrea, because Donovan... Do you like to be called Don or Donovan?
Yeah, I get the whole gambit. Donovan, Donny, Dono, Don. So, yeah. Whichever takes your fancy this morning.
Yeah, we'll just go with the flow. Because you're new here, I think we should throw some quick fire questions at you just to get the mood going. How's that?
All right, let's do it.
Right. Tap water or filtered water?
Tap water.
Yeah. Andrea, you could throw any if you want.
Either one for me.
Yeah.
I don't choose. I mean, if I got bottled water, I'll drink it, but I'll drink it out the tap too.
Oh, filtered all the way for me. Don't do tap water. Night owl or early bird?
Or nighttime. This is a stretch for me. It's 5 a.m. here today.
Andrea?
Nighttime. With 7 children, you can't get much done. If you want to sit down and even have a moment to yourself, sometimes it doesn't happen till night later when they're asleep. So,
hey, I don't even have that. Well, yeah. No, when everyone falls asleep around about, 10, 11 o'clock, I stay up for the next about half an hour, just a bit of me time.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I do when everyone's asleep. Right. Ooh. Do you prefer raspberry or strawberry?
That's a tough one. I'd probably have to say raspberry.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know. Does pineapple belong on pizzas?
100%.
Of course. Yeah.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes, Don. Yeah.
No.
Yes.
Kerry, I think I need you to take over. Cat or dog? Cat or dog?
I grew up with both actually. So we had cats and dogs through most of my childhood. Yeah. So
Okay, if you had to choose one.
Oh, it's a hard pick. If I had to choose one right now, I'd say a dog because we could go for walks and hikes and things. Yeah.
Fair enough. Right, let's crack on. I'm going to have to ask, and I know it's the hardest question anyone can ever answer, is who is Donovan?
Let me check my notes. No, just kidding. Yeah. So how would I say who is Donovan? So I'm currently working in a professional role in IT and technology, and also studying and building a coaching business. And so my story probably takes me from the path of when I was young, when I was little, sort of growing up through primary school, through high school, being bullied quite a lot. And that was a lot of what my identity was the little picked on kid. And so through the years, obviously, done a lot of work as I sort of, moving into my young adult years, a lot of work on my self-esteem, that kind of stuff. And then moving into, a corporate role, moving into some leadership roles, really getting stuck into how that actually manifests as far as, showing up as a leader and, coming from a place of working on self-esteem. And then also, what sort of supports that obviously is well-being. So, there's well-being discussions. So that's in a nutshell what who I'm showing up as today. Yeah.
Brilliant. Yeah, I think we should dive into that bullying experience, because obviously I grew up being bullied myself, and it's one of the toughest things anyone can experience. I'm going to think of something else, but there you are. Let's talk about that. Like, what happened?
Yeah, look, for me personally, it was I was quite the physically small child, compared to everybody else. And so, was never into the sports and all those kind of things, because, everyone else was bigger and stronger and better than me. And, so I tended to gravitate to more of the intellectual sort of subjects, the maths and the English and that kind of thing. And, as in early school, that's not really cool. They're not the cool subjects, no one sort of, likes to identify with them. But I was good at them. So it was one of those things. And, spent a lot of time sort of being quite physically bullied, more than anything else, probably. And, it's not a pleasant experience. I mean, I think everyone in their own ways had maybe some experiences around, being bullied or sort of being, put upon by people, whether it's from childhood or whether it's from, later on in life, just from, other people around them that maybe aren't as good at regulating their emotions and those kind of things. So I think it's a good discussion to have. We can definitely, there's a lot of space for awareness and education around what that means on both sides of the fence, being the bullier and being bullied, and how we can be improving some of that stuff, some of those environments, some of those communities where, we spend our time. I think there's a huge opportunity there to really start, raising the bar and helping people understand what's going on.
I totally agree. And Andrea, you can jump in at any point if you want, but I want to ask, the bullying experience, was it just the school environment or was it home as well?
No, not really home. I mean, I was lucky enough to have a pretty solid home life. My parents were amazing and, very supportive environment. And on that note, probably a good point of discussion too is that I'd never really probably discuss the bullying, at home in that supportive environment, right? Because it's something that you sort of don't want to admit to, don't want to, you don't know how to talk about it, don't know how to explain it. So again, probably a huge missed opportunity there for actually, like tapping into that support and, using that in that situation.
What do you think, Andrea?
Well, I know what it feels like to be bullied too. And, mine usually came from girls who wanted to always fight me and they were older than me for some reason. So, when it comes to bullying and having that experience, I am now bringing anti-bullying restorative talking circles to Nebraska and beyond. And I've actually adapted it, and I was able to work with school-age students when I worked at Boys and Girls Club for my practicum. And for 8 weeks, those students that bullied each other, they built empathy and taught me more empathy, because I wanted to kick the bully out. You know what I mean? I wanted to give up on them, basically is the way I look at it now. Zero tolerance is not real. At the end of the day, I learned from the question, why are they doing it? When we got them in a circle and they talked about why, wow, there was some powerful backstories. We had to call parents because some of that stuff was very dangerous, for our students and the way that it made them feel. So we had to report. And so our Dream Achievers Arts and Science program, which is my program, a nonprofit that we have here in the community, we are eliminating bullying in our public school system, one student and one family at a time.
I take my hat off to that.
That's an incredible. Yeah, that's incredible.
It is. Yeah. Here we go. Heather's put a comment. There is such a variety of bullying these days, especially with the cyber world.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
You can't get away from it. See, back then, we could run home, you know what I'm saying, and get away from it back in my day, because I'm an older lady. But now the students and even people who work for people, I mean, any type of bullying that comes in, that cyberbullying has taken it to a whole new level. You can't get away from it at that point, because here they are, you know.
See, people did have that opportunity, like if they were being bullied in the workplace or in school, they ran home because that was their safe space. I wasn't so lucky with that because I was being bullied both at home and in the educational setting. So I was practically trapped in that cycle. And I've not got a violent bone in my body, but for me to get that bullying to stop, I had to turn to violence. I had to. I didn't want to, but I felt like I had two choices: either let it carry on for the rest of my life and probably end up dead at some point, or fight back. Enough's enough.
I had to go there. You know my story when I first met you, Adam.
Yeah.
You know, I
Yeah.
got chased home, and my grandma saw me running. She said, "Who and what are you running from?" And when I told her, I thought she was gonna, feel sorry for me. No, she had my mother drive me to find that girl, biggest girl, looking like a grown woman. I'm a little kid in grade
Yeah.
school, and I had to fight her. And if I didn't win that fight, I was gonna have to face getting a spanking when I came back home. But she's from Missouri, the show me state. That's how, I'm not blaming her for nothing, because I tell you what, it did stop the bullying, and everybody else saw me, like she said, take up for myself, and I didn't have to worry about that no more.
Yeah.
I mean, it's sad we have to take violence sometimes, but you have a right to protect yourself, right? You are your castle in a lot of states and places. So
Yeah, exactly.
at least we didn't, I ain't gonna say the word, but at least we didn't take nobody out. You know what I mean? They still here.
Yeah.
I think you've both touched on a pretty huge point there, in that often in that situation we feel like we're trapped. We feel like it's, we bust out and we get aggressive, or we run and hide. There's no sort of option in the middle for the discussion, or any awareness. Is just one or the other, and it makes it hard. Makes it really hard when we're just faced with those two options only.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hi, mommy. Hi, mama.
We've got a question. What do you define as being bullied at home?
That's for you, Adam.
Is that for me or is it for all of us, Heather?
It could be, but you spoke on it.
I did. I think there is no difference. I define bullying as hand in hand with gaslighting also. That's how I may be wrong. If I'm not, please correct me. But that's how I see it. Similar to gaslighting, where bullying can happen anywhere, whether it's at home, in the community, workplace, even at home. It can happen anywhere. It's just, what do you do about it?
Yeah, that's an important distinction, I think, is, gaslighting something I think a lot of people forget about, or they think that it's normal, or it's not a bad thing, or they don't know what it is. And it's quite a huge part of that emotional journey.
Exactly. Yeah. What do you think, Andrea?
Bullying, like you said, Adam, it's everywhere.
Yeah.
I've even had educators bully me. I've been locked in closets for things that I didn't even do. So to me, she was always on me, to me, I felt like it was consistent. You know what I mean? I had her as my teacher in a class, and yeah, it was a consistent thing. That's one of the things they say about it, a consistency of it. It's happening all the time. It's not one incident. So that's part of what makes it bullying, Adam.
Yeah. It does. Heather, I was physically abused. That is different, correct? I'd say no. Because bullying can happen any sort, whether it's physical, sexual, emotional, psychological. It is. It is. It's still a type of bullying.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Yes. Your mother has commented, Andrea.
About
Daughter, I'm gonna have to pop this up. I'm gonna have to. There you go. There you go. Wow. She walks me back to the playground carrying a belt. Oh.
that's Granny. That's Granny. She had to go through it too, is what she's saying, as her daughter. Hi, mommy.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm gonna have to ask Donovan. Obviously, we have all experienced some sort of trauma in our life. What do you think of the ancestors, of what they have been taught, compared to today's society?
That's a really good question, actually. Look, I mean, I think, we evolve as an individual. We learn and we grow, and, we experience things, we heal trauma, we learn new skills, that kind of thing. But I think we also do that generationally, right? We're learning every generation, we're learning new things. We were talking before about cyberbullying and Facebook and stuff. We're becoming more connected. We're becoming more aware of what's going on around the world. We're becoming more aware of each other's cultures and upbringings and things like that. And as part of that discussion, I think we're also learning about some things that maybe we can be doing better from the past. So, we're learning to do things better. We're learning to do things differently. We're learning to be more inclusive. We're learning to be more diverse. All these kind of discussions. I think it's a pretty powerful point there to talk about. It's not about, and this probably touches on the idea of cancel culture. It's not about canceling what's in the past. I mean, what's in the past has brought us to who we are and where we are today. So we bring all these things together into the discussion, and we evolve. We work on ways of being more open, being more aware, and what can serve us better moving into the future. I think that's a pretty huge discussion.
Yeah, because
program. Yeah.
Because I actually got told by it was a police officer back in 2019 when I actually did attempt suicide due to the trauma, and obviously they mentioned what happened, asked me what happened, so I explained what happened. And did you actually know that it's still a type of bullying if the person's not doing anything and they're actually watching someone else beating you up? That's still a type of bullying. It's still a type of abuse. Yeah. Still, they did nothing about it though, but what's happened, it's happened.
Here they call that individual or those individuals bystanders. And they
That's
even
right,
have
yeah.
a set of rules of how bystanders should stand up with you. With instruction, it's good, because if you say, well, stand with them, well, that means they can get violent. They're giving them permission to do different things. You have to let them know how to go about doing it when you're being a bystander. There's rules to it. And it's like, if you're in a classroom, you go tell somebody. You know what I mean? You go get an adult to help you with the situation. Those are some of the guidelines that they give in our school system here. They have a name for them, bystanders. Just watching it happen and encouraging them not to do that, to stand with you, not fighting, but standing with you to help you to get the help you need.
Yeah, there's a saying, I'm going to misquote this potentially, but that which you walk past, you accept. And starting to think about, what are you actually accepting? What do you stand for? What do you stand for as a person?
That's right.
Exactly. See, going up in school, obviously my head teacher at the time, he knew something was going on in my life. He knew, but I didn't say anything because I kept all that trauma to myself for years.
You
But
bottled
I'm
it up.
so yeah, I did bottle it up. I masked a lot because it's all people are saying that it's only females that can mask their emotions. Men can as well, but I don't hear anyone talking about men's masking. Nobody.
I think that's a really big part of the discussion around, like traditionally, the flip side of that coin is they talk about, women can often are better in touch with their emotions, can feel their emotions. Men tend to disconnect or shut them down. We're taught, through society, we're taught that, it's weak
Masculine,
to
yeah.
feel our emotions. Yeah. It's the masculine thing is to be tough, be strong. And there's a pretty huge movement, I think at the moment going on around helping men get in touch with their emotions, being able to actually understand what it is to feel those, process them, understand what they mean.
I was taught that as a female. I thought it was weak to cry, and no one will ever see that but God and possibly my mother. But my children never saw me cry. And then when I was able to cry, it scared the bazoobies out of them, because that my grandfather, was in the Air Force. And so I never saw him cry till my grandmother passed. And, it touched my heart even deeper because we always seen him as the strength. And that can be a dangerous place to be, for people to see you as strong all the time, because then they want to hit, knock things off of you, like the water at the shore when it's hitting the rocks. Eventually them rocks are going to crumble after all that force of different waves coming in hitting it. So at the end of the day, I would hope that everyone can be on their journey of healing and finding themselves, being what maybe they needed back at the time when they were going through it.
Yeah, I love that. And that touches back on the generational thing, like where it's each of our individual responsibility to start healing those traumas. And, we're talking about intergenerational trauma here. We're talking about stuff that's been handed down, through generations, and we can learn to heal that. Absolutely. That's awesome, Andrew.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Which takes me on to a question for you both. What does mental health mean to you?
Big question. For me, it's very good question. I would say,
because we all know what it is and how it impacts us, but we don't actually know what it means to us. Yeah.
Individually. For me, it's big on holistic well-being, and coming from that place of what am I doing consciously to be improving my body, mind, soul, emotions, all those things. And then all the different spaces that we play in amongst all that, whether it's exercise, sleep, whether it's connecting with people, whether it's forming relationships, whether it's being aware of our mental state and, being able to consciously choose, what serves us, what helps us, what our needs are, and be able to then understand those needs and set boundaries with people, do the things that bring us, mindfulness, space, joy, happiness, whatever that looks like.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Andrea?
I agree. I think, to me, mental health, I was in the stigma until I was woke. And so the stigma was mental health is something to hide. It shows weakness. You know what I mean? Again, back on that weakness thing. But today I see mental health as, I see it as self-care, and being mindful to ourselves with the things that we think, because that's where it all, to me, stems from. We are what we think. If I don't feel well, when I wasn't feeling well, I was probably snippety with people, not even realizing, but I'm not feeling well. You know what I'm saying? So when you talk about spaces, Don, yeah, I'll take myself. Guess what? I don't need to be around people right now. You know what I mean? I have to go over here and take care of my mental health. So I think mental health, I used to think it meant you were crazy, but now I see it as a place where you can go. You know, like you said, a space. You can either be in good space or not so good of a space. As long as you take care of yourself and take that step back, I think that, you know, our mental health can be better for us.
Yeah.
But I mean, not everybody's in a good place. Like I said, we can all be in a space that's not good. You know what I mean? And I know for me, it's not good to go around people because they're, you know, they're going to perceive me as different things that I'm probably portraying or showing and don't even know that I am. So mental health, you can get lost in it. I don't know if you could tie down. I guess those are some ideas of what it is or what I felt it to be in my experience.
Yeah, we've got a couple of comments here, and obviously I want to pick up on what you both said. Your mum being able to feel mentally free, not being laughed or judged, knowing I'm safe and happy helps self. Well, that's what the Mental Health Warriors provides. We provide a safe space.
Mm-hmm.
Heather, we take care of ourselves physically. We need to do so mentally. We care for our heart. We need to take care of our mind. Well, the thing is, it's not just physically or mentally, it's also emotionally. And what people don't speak about is spiritually as well.
Yes,
Not
I agree.
a very low percentage of people talk about spiritual health because mental health in itself is health.
Mm-hmm. If
Simple.
I didn't have the spiritual health, if I didn't have that spirituality, I don't know where I'd be. If I didn't have a space like Mental Health Warriors to come to, I don't know where I would be. You know what I mean? I can't, and I don't want to think about where I would be.
No, you're here now.
Yes, I'm happy to be in the space that I'm in right now, mentally and spiritually, and all of that you just mentioned. You're right. It's everything. That's why it's hard to describe it, right?
And I think it's super important to mention too that it looks different for each of us, individually. Like we all have different things, different things we connect with, different spaces we go to, different things that work for us. So it's really about exploring that, and there's no wrong answer to what actually works and what helps you. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. And even Mary Nixon Ahan, she's obviously on the team. She says a great space here as well, and that's exactly what we do. Yeah, we do lives, but it's a non-judgmental organisation, and I'm not even going to say we're a group, we're a community, because that's what we're building here. Because obviously we've had COVID, which obviously I'm not going to get into because we've all got our views, but mental health itself, that is the biggest pandemic. That is a national crisis, and this is why I created the Mental Health Warriors and not just make it UK based, because we've got Australia, America in, because this is what it is. It's a national crisis because I feel like we need to do something surrounding mental health because I know we already are, but I feel like we need to do more. Why I say that is because obviously back in the generations when mental health first came in, it was 4 guys sat around the table and that's how they came up with it, the Mental Health Act. But we need to change end that stigma, because that stigma is still around today, of the fact that when people hear the words mental health towards someone, suddenly, as you say, Andrea, that person's crazy. So we need to destigmatize that word mental.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's still healthcare all the way around, like you said. Yeah.
Exactly.
I think it can be hard to talk about sometimes, and that's what can be a bit challenging because people don't know, they don't necessarily understand or have awareness of what other people are going through, and then don't know how to talk about it. Don't want to hurt anybody, don't want to annoy anybody. So how do we talk about that in a safe space? I think that's a really good point, Adam.
Thank you.
And we don't. Well, Adam, you're not giving yourself credit. I'm not going to put we in there because you know what? You're pulling all. Look at what you're doing. You're pulling, like you said, Mental Health Warriors is a space that's been created. you're pulling people in globally. You know what I'm saying? And reaching people globally. I have to tell you, sitting here in this space, and my mother comes into this space, it makes me happy because guess what? She's getting some great feedback and inspiration as well. You know, it's soul food. You know, mental health soul food is what this is. And thank you for creating that.
Thank
The
you.
Mental
But
Health Warrior every time they have it at the Capitol for the past 5 years. So, you know,
the thing is,
don't.
though, mental health warriors, it wasn't my idea. It wasn't. I was actually told to create it by my late great friend who sadly passed away almost a year ago now, Philip Chan. It was his idea. So this is why I keep saying now, from past, present, and future people that come onto the team, every video we do is carrying on what he wants us to do.
I love
That's
it.
why mental health warriors will never die.
Thank you. Yes. And mommy says she loves it here. Feels like family, helping yourselves and others, being able to discuss these things. Thankful to you, Adam, is what my mama
Well,
said.
see, I'm flattered by all that people are thanking me, but thing is, I've got nothing to be thanked to for, because I don't see the mental health warriors as mine. I never have and I never will. This is ours. Everyone that comes in on the lives, in the comments, whatever, it's yours. It's just as yours as mine. And this is what we're doing. We are destigmatizing this. We are giving people a voice, like you, Donovan. We're giving you a voice. And a voice that I never had growing up. But now I found it, and nobody's shutting me up.
Yes, and I love my humble brother over there. Adam, you are humble. I love you. I know you didn't start it, but you know what? Had you not put it out there, I would have never met you. You know what I'm saying? But to hear the backstory is beautiful. And you're so humble. I just love you to pieces. But you're a big
I love
part of why
everybody.
we're here.
Well, it seems people are sharing this because the views are actually going up. So this is what we need to do. We need to carry on sharing this. Get people subscribing to this channel.
Yes. Let's do it.
Yeah.
You know I'm working on it. One person.
Oh, I know you are.
At a time.
Yes, exactly. So, oh, what a time to get the cold there. But anyway, but me, the face of the team. Come on, Mary. But anyway, back to you, Donovan. Where do I go with this? What can... I'm not even going to mention the government because I've got a lot... I ain't got time for them. But I know what Andrea means. Where do I go? Where do you think it
We don't want
should
you
start?
in Facebook jail.
I probably will end up in a Facebook jail if I start. But where do you think it should start when it comes to destigmatizing that bullying and taking action on that bullying? Because there's that misconception at the minute, that miscommunication where home life is blaming the educational life and the educational life is blaming the home life. Where's the common ground in that?
Yeah, really good question. I think it's a bit of a cycle, right? Like, it's easy enough to say, oh, it should start in schools because, that's where bullying happens, early on in schools. But I think before that, it starts in the home, but it starts with who we're showing up as, right? As individuals, as parents, as colleagues, as, peers, who we're showing up as. And we all can take the responsibility to lead by example in that space. I think we can be having these discussions with, we're doing the work, we're healing, we're starting to, learn about this stuff, we're starting to talk about this stuff. Then as parents, we hold that space for our children. We are able to start teaching our children how to understand and regulate their emotions. We can start teaching our children how to start getting in touch with what their needs are and what that means to them, right? From a very young age, they're starting to become aware of what their needs are. From my experiences in the past, I would say a lot of the people who bullied me, and also when I bullied other people, it works both ways, comes from a place of not really being in touch with, that emotional space is, what that trauma is, what my needs are or what their needs are. And so, it's two sides of the same coin. I think, we become that person. We hold that space for our family. We start building that tribe, that community, that space, which then continues on into schools. As the children grow up, and then we're the parents, we're the teachers. We're starting to provide that space, for the foundation for the children to continue learning about that stuff as they move through those formative years. I think it's pretty huge.
Well, were you going to say something, Andrea?
No, you go ahead. I'm listening.
Yeah, well, when my daughter's been at school, obviously she's come home talking about mental health, which I thought brilliant, absolutely brilliant. But then I got talking to her about it, because obviously she's forever going to school saying, "Oh, my dad's the mental health warrior, and he's got the mental health warriors and stuff like that." So we're out there, but my problem with school and mental health is the education. They only focus on understanding the labels itself, nothing else, and how it impacts them. Mm-hmm. Yes, I agree to a certain degree, but really, the educational setting should be promoting communication with these children and young people, getting them to communicate with their own subconscious mind and their own emotions. That's what they should be doing.
Absolutely.
That's what the anti-bullying talking circles that I bring to the table, that's what it does. It brought empathy to those students, and they became good friends. Still to this day, I check in with them and they're still doing well, as and connected. That connected them. You're right. I saw that. I have 7 children. It's bigger than me, right? So, I have to be involved as a parent because I have 7 children. And here in the United States, racism is a thing.
Yeah.
And it happens in the school system from educators at times. And so, yeah, you can be bullied all the way around, even when it comes to that. So I want to always try to recreate something that can be helpful to others. I don't want other people to go through what I went through or what my students or what my other students might be facing. I want them to know they're not alone and they have a place where we can get actual resolution. Never thought I'd see the day.
Well, if those people are tuned in, whether it's live or on the replay, I'm not going to say advice, because I hate that word advice, because I feel like if we're giving advice, we're telling people what to do, and we should never do that. So what guidance and feedback would you actually give to these young people if they're watching?
Shall I jump in here?
Jump on in, Donovan.
I think it's a bit of a tricky one. I mean, it's one of the things that people don't necessarily want to talk about. So the first step is talking about it. Yeah, is just sharing it. And sharing is not necessarily, let's go take me back to my primary school years. It's not necessarily about telling on somebody. No. It's about sharing how you feel. It's about sharing what's going on for you, sharing what you're having troubles with, and starting to have that discussion, because then we can help. The community can help. We can start creating the safe space. We can unpack the discussion. It's not about singling somebody out necessarily. I mean, yeah, that's part of the discussion. Okay, there are two sides to this. To learn how to deal with the situation and to learn how to help them become aware of it too. Mm-hmm. Firstly, it's about us just sharing, opening up, talking. I think from my own experience and my own memories when I was little, it's not something that we talked about. It's not something that we wanted to admit to, own up to. It was a point of weakness. It was all those sort of things. I don't want to say I'm being bullied, because then I'm just admitting that I'm the little weak bullied picked on kid. It's not who I want to identify with. But being able to start talking about that, it starts unlocking the space. It starts being able to, you start having those discussions. Then there's a space to discuss that doesn't make you weak. Mm-hmm. This is how we build skill, right?
Right.
This is how we build those strengths. This is how we build awareness around emotion. This is how we learn and we grow and we become, who we want to be.
We are the whole village. They say it takes a whole village. And guess what? We are it. We are the village. And that's the stance that I take. You're right, Don, talking about it. I know everybody in this community. I go in the store and I know folks, and they ask me what I'm working on, and I'll talk about anti-bullying. And you know what? There'll be a little kid in the line or their parent, and guess what? They come out of the woodwork. Wherever I go, if I'm speaking about it with someone that this is what I do, next thing you know, here they come, bringing me a student from any school. It doesn't matter what school. You know what I mean? Be in that village. You're right, Don. I feel like it's making a difference here in our community and beyond.
Yeah. I'm just looking for. Here we go. I found the quote here. As a child, here we go. We're bringing back memories here. Did you ever watch the film called A Bug's Life?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Right. There's an interesting quote in there, which I recently just picked up on. You let one ant stand up to us, and they all might stand up. Those puny little ants outnumber us 100 to 1. And if we ever let them figure out, there goes our way of life. It's not about food, it's about keeping those ants in line. That's what we're standing up, because mental health, it can be our best friend and it can be our worst enemy. And with all this light end of the tunnel, I used to believe that, and I just think it's total rubbish now. Because now I believe we are the light and we are the darkness. We are both. And our biggest enemy right now is ourselves. And mental health is that barrier. That's the one standing in our way. But if we stand up together, we can knock that mental health stigma down.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's our way of life. Exactly what we want. And that is to destigmatize it.
That's right. I agree totally.
Yeah, it's a good quote. The more we talk about it, the more we share it, the more we connect with each other, and we start understanding more about each other and what we're going through.
Yeah, exactly.
That's from that, isn't it?
Yeah, we've got another comment from Shaw B, a new follower, shall I say. Meet the child where they are at. The conversation has to come at a time and place where they are at. A conversation could be encouraged through drawing a picture of what's happening, then discussing or talking about day in a car ride, or seeing a behaviour as a reflection of being overwhelming feelings rather than a child being bad. Pushing a conversation may have the child shut down. And I totally agree.
Yes, my grandma used to tell us when I was raising my children, you don't call them bad. Quit calling them bad. You hear parents say, you're bad. That is so true, Sho.
And the biggest stigma of people that are getting targeted by being naughty are SEN children who are on the spectrum of autism. Just like my son and daughter, they're being targeted currently. So, because me, when I was bullied, I was allowed to get bullied. That carried on. But if my kid's getting bullied, yeah, I step in and I do something about it.
That's what it's about.
Yeah.
Being that ally with your student. Like I said, I have 7 children, so I had to stand up, with them.
Yes. So
pretty powerful.
Go on,
I missed the name of who just shared that comment, but online. But what you were just talking about, Adam, around. There we go. That's an incredible comment. You're just getting into that discussion about, we're not necessarily there to pull answers from people. It's not about trying to dig or trying to whatever. It's just about holding a space, right? It's just about being able to be, especially for the kids. children don't know how to regulate their emotions. They're looking to us to learn how to regulate their emotions.
Yeah.
And so, the most powerful thing we can do in that moment is to just be there and hold that space and just show them that it's okay to feel that emotion.
Yeah.
And the discussion springs from that, springs from being able to just sit with that emotion in a safe space and feel like you are safe. And then the discussion comes from that. So yeah, I love that comment.
I agree. Right. Anything else, Andrea?
Well, I want to say we are not defeated. I will not own negative energy. I won't own it. You see what I'm saying? I might be there, and it's okay for me not to be okay, but I'm not owning it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Some conscious choice about what you want, which is awesome.
We don't want to feel yucky, right? We don't want to. Who wants to stay there? Yeah. Look, let me show y'all something. Look, I got this in Louisiana. It's a bubble maker, and it lights up. You see them bubbles? Hey. So if I have any feelings lately, this is what I do. Just push my bubble and go sit on my nice porch and, reflect and come on out of it. Use my spirituality, whatever tools you got to use to come on out, utilize them.
I agree. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, because it seems I'm freezing here.
Yeah.
My screen's freezing.
Ventriloquist, you were speaking and your mouth wasn't moving.
Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, Julia wants a bubble maker on her desk. There you go.
We're going to have to get her one, Mama. Mama, we got to get her the bubble maker.
Right. Well, anyway, since I'm freezing here and becoming a ventriloquist, operator error. Yep, one of them. I'm going to end this. Oh, here we go. Right, the heat wave is affecting the internet connection. There you go. Right.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, thanks for that. Right, what I'll do is I'll wrap this up. I hope the internet is in a better connection because I'm on not once but twice tomorrow. I'm on at 9 o'clock in the morning UK time with Kim Dunlop for Cracking the Communication Code, where I'm going to be on the guest seat and Kim's going to be the host. I ain't got a clue what we're talking about. And then, God help me, but I'm live at 10 p.m. UK time, so it's a very late one for me. And I'm going to be on with, and Don, you know these people, I'm going to be on with Martin Jones, Anne Crook, and Angela Heiss. And we'll be discussing what the future holds for mental health.
Wow. That's
We're going to be That is deep. That is deep. Hey, we go deep here on the Warriors.
Yeah, we do.
Right, well, thanks, Don, for coming on.
No, thank you for having me, guys. It's you're doing something super powerful here, and I think it's an incredible space. So it's an honor to be a part of it.
Yeah. And if people haven't already, please share this. We're on YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, Spotify, Amazon Music, TikTok. We're everywhere. So please give us a follow. And yes, we will see you tomorrow. Yeah, don't go anywhere, you two. See you later.
Lots of love.